Welcome back to Get Lit, a series where I explain the mysterious and often elite world of literary fiction. Welcome to episode 7. Does literary fiction have to be a sob fest? Literary fiction or literature is primarily focused on exploring the human experience. And because it falls under this nebulous category of art, many people often find it to be depressing. Think about the goals of art: political and social commentary or critique. Think of that quote, comforting the disturbed, disturbing the comforted. The goals of art often tend toward the more serious, but does it have to? Literary fiction has to have conflict. What does this mean? Well, there has to be a real challenge or obstacle to be combated or overcome, or that the character is presented with. One of the markers of literary fiction is illustrating character change or character development over the course of the story, which is primarily done through conflict. Many happy stories, like think of happy romances where everything goes right, or just very comforting stories that tie up very neatly and perfectly, these don't always have a very compelling conflict, or they don't illustrate character change over the course of the story. And this is not to knock those kinds of writing or stories, but just to illustrate why those types of things do not appear often in literary fiction. We'll also say art as a whole, but specifically literary fiction, writers are trying to avoid sentimentality at all costs because sentimentality is a mark of genre fiction. And if you want to be considered a real artist, you cannot have your work be labeled as genre fiction. And you're probably seeing now like why this is like so elite coded. But I like to call it the sentimental kiss of death. So, what is sentimentality? Well, it's something that is very cute, very nostalgic, overly emotional, tender. Think Hallmark movies. As an artist, having your work be labeled sentimental and thus genre fiction, it's game over. Pretty much. You're not going to get a traditionally feel good story from literary fiction. All that being said, depressing is not a requirement for literary fiction. And for me personally, I feel like the best writing takes a nuanced approach. So it might incorporate serious themes and topics, a serious approach, but there's a degree of levity, there's a degree of humor. I also think, generally speaking, mixing humor and a serious message is often a much more effective way to get your message across and to have it resonate with people long after they've closed your book. What are some examples of literary fiction